The white Chevrolet Corvette sat under the flickering streetlight, gleaming even under the dull haze of dusk. Its low, sculpted frame reflected years of design evolution and raw power, and for Michael, it wasn't just a car, it was the embodiment of every dream he'd ever chased. He had bought the Corvette 5 years ago, back when life seemed untouchable. Fresh out of college with a tech job that paid well and weekends free, he'd spotted it at a used dealership on the edge of town. It wasn't brand new, but it was immaculate. A 2016 Z06, supercharged V8, white with black rims and a red leather interior. It had looked like it had been carved from lightning. Back then, he hadn't cared that it took half his savings. He hadn't cared that people told him it was too much car for a 24-year-old. He'd taken one test drive, and the roar of the engine on the open road had sealed the deal. The Corvette had seen everything with him. Early mornings roaring down the coast, late-night drives just to feel free, road trips with friends, first dates, heartbreaks, reconciliations. And now, parked quietly in front of his childhood home, the Corvette seemed almost to be waiting for something. Michael leaned against the hood, sipping coffee from a paper cup. Tomorrow, he would be moving to New York for a new job. It was a promotion, a big one, and the kind of role people work their whole lives for. But it came with sacrifices. He couldn't take the Corvette with him. City life didn't have space for 650 horsepower toys. The car would be sold by the weekend. He reached out and ran his fingers over the hood, remembering the first time he'd driven it down Mulholland Drive. He remembered the look on his younger brother's face when he'd taken him for a spin, the wind whipping through their hair, laughter echoing off canyon walls. He remembered his dad saying, "It's beautiful. Reckless, but beautiful." That recklessness had felt like freedom. But things had changed. Responsibilities weighed heavier now. Life had a different rhythm, more structured, less spontaneous. The Corvette had been the symbol of another chapter, one filled with speed, sound, and open highways. But all things changed, and Michael knew this was the end of the road for this part of his life. Still, he wasn't ready to say goodbye just yet. He slid into the red leather seat, the familiar scent of fuel and leather greeting him like an old friend. He turned the key, and the engine thundered to life. For a moment, the night stood still, broken only by the pulse of the car's low idle. Michael pulled out of the driveway and hit the road, heading west toward the ocean. The streets were quiet, and the city lights blurred in his mirrors. He drove like he used to, windows down, music off, just him and the sound of the engine. At the cliffs overlooking the Pacific, he parked, stepped out, and watched the stars appear one by one. The Corvette's engine ticked softly as it cooled, like a heartbeat slowing after a sprint. "This is it," he whispered. Maybe someone else would fall in love with it next. Maybe it would become part of someone else's story. But for Michael, it had been more than a car. It had been a companion, a reminder that life was meant to be driven. Fast, bold,